co-founder of Roxom and Roxom TV, Borja Martel-Seward, and the director of Bitcoin-Strategy at Roxom TV, Alex McShane. Gentlemen, welcome to the show this morning. It is exciting to have you both on.
Hey, Hank, how are you? Thank you for having us, man, as always. How's everything?
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. I mean, it's great. We reached all-time highs yesterday morning. I know we've had a little bit of a drawback, but the vibes are good. Let's get right into it, gentlemen. Borja, I want to start with you. What was the inspiration for the idea for a Bitcoin-denominated stock exchange, and why was now the time to build it?
Well, to be honest, Hank, this entire Bitcoin treasury thing is like a gift for us because when we started Roxom, we didn't plan that there would be a frenzy, a mania about companies building up Bitcoin treasuries. When we started on our thesis, which is the story of capital markets is that the largest capital markets grow within the strongest currencies. We've seen that in Amsterdam on the guilder, London on the pound, Wall Street on the dollar. And for us, it's inevitable, number one, that Bitcoin will develop its own capital markets. And number two, that Bitcoin's capital markets will be one of the largest, if not the largest in the planet. Now, the thing is, when we started, there was nothing. A question that we always asked ourselves was, how will this play out? Like, how will Bitcoin capital markets play out? How will they start, and so on? And the truth is that this cycle has given us the first industry, like company industry within the Bitcoin capital markets, which is the Bitcoin treasury companies. And suddenly now we have this whole bunch of companies all over the world IPOing or public companies that are transitioning into a Bitcoin treasury model, which essentially means that we are seeing real time, we're living a historical moment in which you have the first Bitcoin stocks, like truly Bitcoin stocks, because before we had crypto stocks, like for example, public companies like Coinbase. Well, Coinbase is an all-encompassing crypto company. They do Base, which is a layer two. They do plenty of cryptocurrencies and so on. But these Bitcoin treasury companies, they are specifically Bitcoin companies. They are specifically Bitcoin stocks. So we are seeing real time how, again, the first vertical, the first industry, the first market within the Bitcoin capital markets is growing, is being born and growing. And this for us, naturally, it was a natural step forward for us because since we're building Bitcoin capital markets, when we saw this mania, this frenzy around Bitcoin stocks, Bitcoin treasury stocks, then that's right there what we are doing, like finding a perfect match for us. And at the end of the day, it also makes all the sense in the world because it's the Bitcoin treasury companies, a vertical sector, let's say, they have two main issues. The first issue is that all of these Bitcoin treasury companies, they are listed all over the place. So you have in Japan, Argentina, India, Korea, US, Europe, Brazil, etc. So for any Bitcoiner across the world, it's honestly really, really hard to access all of these companies because you would need 20 broker-dealer accounts in different countries, in different currencies, and then you have to do FX and send money abroad and this and that. Number two, you have a denomination issue. Like, for example, MetaPlanet is listed in yen, in euros, and in dollars. And the more markets MetaPlanet gets listed into, or MicroStrategy or whatever, the more currencies it is being quoted and listed at. So at the end of the day, for us, it makes all the sense in the world for all of these Bitcoin treasury companies to be listed, quoted, and traded in the true currency, in the only true currency, and actually in the currency on which they operate, which is Bitcoin. Sorry, Bitcoin. So for us, building this, like say, Bitcoin treasury stock exchange where anybody throughout the world can access through Bitcoin globally, without borders, without friction, all of the Bitcoin treasuries, and also that they are trading them, investing in them, using Bitcoin as a unit of account makes all the sense in the world. And actually, we're very happy to be building this, and especially because everybody in the broader Bitcoin community is loving this product that we're building. So we're super eager to be able to launch this by the end of the quarter. And well, in the meantime, we have the upcoming derivatives product coming very soon before the Bitcoin Treasury. So well, now we're very excited with everything that's coming up ahead.
Amazing. And this is for McShane. McShane, how does Roxom's Bitcoin Treasuries product fundamentally change how investors access Bitcoin native equities? Is that they can just do it from anywhere, kind of what Borja was saying? They don't have to be on all of these different markets and they can just do it all in one place, or is there more to it than just that?
Yeah, I think like the underlying, like the fundamental change is you now have kind of access to the free TradFi markets with Bitcoin, which was difficult before. You know, you had to sell into Bitcoin and go through these fiat apparatuses and systems. But depending on your jurisdiction, it's just, you know, KYC, send your Bitcoin, and now you can start actually using your Bitcoin. There's been a lot of narrative shifts over the years, and probably Bitcoin as a whole adopted some pretty early on naive perspectives about how it would interact with traditional capital markets. And what we've seen this year, in my opinion at least, is a real maturing of that narrative, and some actually like high dollar signal and high Bitcoin signal as the price pumps and institutions and governments start to back it more and more, and start to come up with new use cases for it. Maybe that's kind of new lending instruments as Bitcoin Treasury codes get stood up around the world. Perhaps that's new kind of stablecoin interactions or national kind of strategic reserves around the world. There's a lot of proposals on the table. But what's interesting is, of course, everyone wanted this to happen kind of overnight. Just all the air would be sucked out of fiat and everyone would be on a Bitcoin standard over the course of like a couple of years. And there's just so many trillions of dollars that are not interested in that happening. They would never let the system fail that quickly if they could prevent it. So what we'll see is this kind of slow drip, and on the long time frame, that's what we've seen is now trillions of dollars being moved over to Bitcoin just year by year. And what does that mean, and how, you know, like, I predict it will kind of replicate some of the things that happened early on, but were shut down by governments who were not interested in Bitcoin at the time. More peer-to-peer exchange, more peer-to-peer marketplaces, more social media use cases, more micropayments and layer 2 use cases. But the kind of the highest volume of this Bitcoin movement, outside of just buying and selling the asset outright, I think will be in accessing traditional equities, capital markets, and commodities, and perpetual futures. The interesting kind of behavior to watch is going to be the consumer behavior of like how they interact with these markets, because forever we've been denominating everything in this moving measure unit of a currency that is the US dollar, or select your local fiat currency that's infinitely debased. That's not a very good measure of anything or the world. And when you start to view the world in Bitcoin terms, you get a whole different picture of what is happening and a more kind of a more honest look at the markets. And that's kind of, I think, the underlying mission here at Roxom with the terminal and with the exchange. What we're trying to do as a media organization is help people reframe to a Bitcoin mindset and prepare for this transition from bimetallism to a Bitcoin standard. So, like, to give you an example, Pompa tweeted this today that over since 2020, the S&P has gained 98% in US dollar terms. Hank, I want you to guess how much it's up or down in Bitcoin terms over that same period.
Oh boy. Well, you said it's 98% in dollar terms, so
Yes, it's gained the S&P 500. If you had invested in it, you'd be up 98% in US dollar terms since 2020. What does that look like in
Right.
Bitcoin terms?
I mean, I imagine it'd be much, much higher then, right? Like 4 or 5x? I don't know.
No, it's down 85%.
With,
The S&P 500 is actually
oh,
down
wow, relative. Okay.
85%. Right, right.
Wow.
So just not to put you on the spot in particular, just to demonstrate that we're not used to viewing the world on Bitcoin terms. A lot of Bitcoiners are somewhat, but they're lacking the instruments to interact with everything and reprice it in Bitcoin. That's where, like, you know, Marty Bent and Matt Odell put out that really interesting tool that redenominates any currency that shows up on your screen. It's a plugin that will reprice it in Bitcoin for you. I think this is actually what we need. We need the software tools and services that are going to allow people, you know, it outsources this sort of mental gymnastics and gets them more comfortable, because it's really something akin to learning a new language. Like, you have to really immerse yourself in the language of Bitcoin. And that means repricing all the equities that you interact with day to day. I mean, if you look at the lower kind of third of the screen now, get a sense for how trippy it is to view, you know, like, what is the Netflix stock price in Bitcoin today? Is it up or down? Like, which companies are actually outperforming Bitcoin? We know they're probably up in dollar terms or down, but like, how does it look in Bitcoin? So that's kind of an ongoing, I guess, Bitcoin marketing campaign that I think everyone can get behind if you believe in that in the future of this thing.